The UFC is setting up KSW versus Bellator with their next matchup at UFC 320. And today we're looking at the highlights of Jakub Wikłacz.
Who?
I know somebody in the comments is going to call me out for my pronunciation of his name. All of his fights are commentated in Polish, and I hardly hear them say his last name. So I'll just leave it to whoever in the comment section is going to be first to tell me my pronunciation is brutal. But without further ado, let's get straight into his highlights because this dude is a beast. He earned his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Robert Drysdale. He trains an American Top Team, and he is an amazing fighter. Debuting all the way back as a professional in 2014, he never had an amateur career, but his early career, he was able to learn a lot. Fighting in Poland for basically his entire career, and he fought really tough competition and really reputable regional organizations, even this early on in his career. And with that, he would actually suffer 2 defeats in his first 7 fights, all before 2017, but that would set him up to rattle off his now 12-1 current streak, including the KSW bantamweight title. But nonetheless, after the first 2 losses in his career, would actually see a familiar face this early on in his career back in 2017, where he would meet him again in KSW multiple times. But here he'd fight him in ACB, winning a unanimous decision to get back on track from his 2 losses, and then he would reel off a couple impressive submission wins. This guy is a remarkable grappler with submission skills on level with the best that you're going to see in the bantamweight division. It makes for this patchy mixed fight to be extremely intriguing, but nonetheless, he took on Blajde Majdan in Spartan fight, earned a submission victory. He would reel off 5 straight submission victories before KSW would come calling and bring him into their organization and kind of put him right at the top. He would fight that familiar face in Sebastian Przybyskin. Again, I'm going to butcher the last name, but a Polish opponent. These guys would go on to fight 5 times in total, but Sebastian would get a little bit of revenge in their fight for KSW, winning the fight via TKO in the 3rd round with a brutal body shot. But again, this wouldn't be the last time these 2 fighters met, and Jakub would reel off more wins like he did after his last 2 losses, where he would just go on a dominant run. In KSW, as the biggest underdog of the card on KSW 63, he would submit Anton Racic in the 1st round with a guillotine choke submission, earning himself the performance of the night for the organization, and he would go on to be at the top of the organization for really the rest of his time at KSW. He would get one more win against Bruno Santos, and then he would see Sebastian again, this time in a title fight in the bantamweight division at KSW 77. This would be their 3rd fight. Jakub 1 win, Sebastian 1 win, and Jakub would end up picking up a split decision victory in a great fight. KSW has these fights on their YouTube channel. Make sure you go check it out. Jakub is a submission threat, and anytime fights make it to the ground with this dude, he has a potential of finishing the fight. In this case, he was able to pull the split decision. And then at KSW 86, he would have a technical unanimous decision. He would land one of the more egregious fouls in mixed martial arts with a soccer kick. Sebastian would actually rock Jakub early in this fight. Jakub would battle back again, showcasing his grappling, but KSW would be quick to rebook the match. After Jakub would get a performance of the night win, Jakub would take on a 9-1 Georgian fighter, and they would put on the fight of the night, with Jakub ultimately winning a unanimous decision and defending his belt. And Jakub would put a stamp on this rivalry. He would submit Sebastian, choking him to sleep in the 2nd round with a guillotine choke submission. Jakub is an elite threat on the ground. For that black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training with some great fighters at American Top Team, and representing Poland. Let me know how far you think Jakub, insert last name here, can go in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I'm excited to see his career play out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed, like the video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.